I am the Director of Culture and Inclusion, and when I look at this room, you all personify that. So really excited to be here and excited to lead this panel. I am a corporate person, but I consider myself an intrapreneur. I call myself an entrepreneur within a corporation. So I'm really excited to bring forward today some amazing panelists of entrepreneurs that are doing incredible work with each of their organizations. So I'll begin by bringing forward Dr. Frederique Bruckmann, and we'll hear a little bit about her company via a video. Absolutely amazing. And let's just hear from you a bit as we get started, Frederique. How about telling us a little bit about yourself and your organization, and then add at the end your favorite travel destination?
So it's really a pleasure to be here and to speak in front of so many powerful women coming from so many different countries, so it's really an honor. My name is Rike. I'm the founder and CEO of a healthcare startup, as you could just see, and we have built a patient platform, so really a platform where patients that are sick, that take a medicine, that are on a treatment, can get all the medical information, personalized medical information they need, where they can exchange with other patients, get support, and are just taken seriously by the pharma companies who use this data to improve their medicines and treatments. And this idea is actually from a personal experience. 5 years ago, when I did my PhD at the Technical University of Munich, I took antibiotics, and I had very severe drug side effects. So what I did is basically what everyone does. I went to Google. Well, now everyone would go to ChatGPT, but I Googled if other people might be also affected, and I realized that we have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, we have TikTok and Instagram, but we don't really have a powerful, engaging platform for patients or for people that have a health issue. And that's why we have built Bright, a patient platform. So my background is actually not medical, but it's a technology management background. And my favorite travel destination, you said?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love to travel to many places. I like Europe for sure. And I just said Caribbean islands. I would love to go there again in the near future.
All right, thank you so much. And next we have Carol Craig. She is the founder, CEO, and chair of Sidus Space. Let's learn a little more about her company. Now, if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about yourself, and make sure you include where you went to school and what you majored in that led toward a space company.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's very exciting to be here. I'm excited to be on this panel with these amazing women. So my name is Carol Craig. I'm actually the CEO of two companies. My first is called Craig Technologies, and Cytospace is a spinoff from there. Craig Technologies is a kind of your typical government contractor supporting a number of different U.S. government agencies throughout the United States, and we have people even in Antarctica and all over. And so I've been doing that for about 2.5 decades, and then created Cytospace, which is a spinoff. We originally were developing space hardware, but now we actually are building and launching our own satellite constellation. So we are a technology provider, innovator, and it came about, my background is actually engineering, so I always say I have no business being in business, but I joke about that. I'm working right now on my MBA because I got tired of people asking me if I had an MBA or not, and all I had was engineering degrees. So I have my engineering degrees, that's my background. I'm from Central Illinois originally, and I'll say the one I know right away, my favorite destination, very similar to what you said, the British Virgin Islands are my absolute favorite, and I just came back from there just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So anyway, thank you. Appreciate being here.
Thank you. All right. Welcome. And next, I'd like to bring to the stage Nerissa Shavidal-Al. She is the CEO and founder of both Kogo Pay and Kogo X.
Welcome to Kogo X, a next-generation Layer 1 blockchain platform powering Web 3.0 wallets and decentralized finance. Our non-custodial wallet supports both crypto and fiat. Users stay in full control of their funds, while businesses can launch their own branded wallets through our secure, scalable, white label solution. Beyond finance, we're proud to partner with an AI startup to create Xodo.ai. A decentralized healthcare platform that helps doctors and nurses securely manage patient data, access vital information, and receive diagnostic support using voice, vision, and text. Together, we're building real-world tools that are secure, inclusive, and intelligent, powered by blockchain, designed for impact.
Now, Nerissa, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about yourself, and if you could include what you like to do outside of work.
Okay. Hi, nice to meet you. This is my first time with the Global Summit Women. Lovely to be here. I haven't seen a lot of women like this. I've been to a lot of conferences, but not many women like this. Thank you very much. I was born in Bangkok. I'm from Thailand. I studied until a university first graduation, my first degree in Thailand. And then my first job was an auditor at Coopers & Lybrand, which is now PwC. And after that, I went to US to do my master's degree in auditing again at Case Western Reserve University. And after that, I went back to Thailand and be a full-time lecturer in auditing again. And then for 2 years, and then I went to UK to get my PhD from London School of Economics, LSE. I went there in 1996. I haven't left UK since because I met my husband. He's from Malaysia. I didn't want to go to Malaysia. He didn't want to go to Thailand, so we ended up living in the UK. My background from Coopers & Lybrand. After I finished my PhD, I was lecturing for a while, and I became a CFO for a few years. And then for 10 years, I didn't work full-time at all. When I have my 2 children, I have 2 boys. So I work part-time during that time because of my husband asked me, when I pregnant my first son, he said that he doesn't mind to be a house husband. Would you like me to be house husband? So I asked him for 2 days. Let me think about it and then what I choose to do. So I choose to be a full-time mother and work part-time. And then after my children in the primary school, the first one 11 years old and the second one 9 years old, I set up my own company. It came from the research. Okay, during my full-time job as a mother, so I still doing my research because I love doing research and teaching. So I did research with friends about blockchain. So I'm fascinated about blockchain about 2016. So after that, I invest in another company first by a male founder, and I worked for them for free for 2 years. And it didn't survive because blockchain at that time is too early. And after that, I set up my own company doing super app, super wallet for Web 2 first. And then now we are doing Web 3. And hopefully in the future, we do Web 4. And also now I co-found a new company, AI company. It's like a chat GPT called Soda, XODA.ai. It's like a chat GPT, but our focus is for healthcare and medical. And we use blockchain because we study blockchain. So we use blockchain to keep the data, not in the centralized, like, in the OpenAI, it's just one company. So we want to keep the record in the decentralized, permission decentralized.
Wonderful. And what do you like to do outside of work?
Few people will know that I'm the short-term missionary. For the past 10 years, I spent time helping homeless people and orphanage children, especially orphanage children in Thailand, northern part of Thailand. So that's one day I would like to become a full-time missionary, volunteering, helping homeless and orphanage children.
Thank you very much. Welcome. And next, I'd like to bring to the stage Nuhin Chamai. She is the co-founder and CEO of the PAN Group. Am I not doing it in order? Okay. And the chair of Vinaseed Group.
From Vietnam, a journey of nurturing begins. The PAN Group, Vietnam's leading agriculture and food corporation. With thousands of our hands and hearts, we are shaping an integrated ecosystem of agriculture, aquaculture, food within a seamless value chain. Every nourishing meal begins with the finest seeds and ingredients, nurtured through rigorous, sustainable, and eco-friendly practices, and bringing better lives to millions upon millions of hardworking Vietnamese farmers. We take pride in bringing our agri-food products to 45 countries around the world. With unwavering innovation, creative minds, and a Vietnamese heart, the PAN Group, born to feed the world.
Working for you? Okay. And you asked me to call you Chami, actually, right? So I'll do that from here on out. Would you spend some time just telling us a little bit about yourself and make sure you include your favorite sport, and that could be spectator or participant?
Okay, hello. Yeah, first, it's my honor to be here with you all, and you just see the profiles of all our wonderful women, and very proud and also energized to be a part of our great panel. And my name is Chami from Vietnam. And it's, how to say, so my journey began in 19th, and my very first job with Biomin Vietnam is agriculture company, and after that I worked as the CFO when I was young, 28 years old. I started to be CFO of Biomin. It's Austrian, 100% owned from Austria. And after that, after 15 years working for Biomin Vietnam, I founded the PAN Group. You see, with the amazing man, he's very strong and very trustable, and I chose him as a partner, and we go with the PAN Group. And after that, we try to get all the leading company in terms of agriculture, aqua, and food to become our family and to become the try to reach our dream. Our common dream is to advance Vietnamese agriculture. And until today, we're really proud to have such a group with 11,000 employees. And very good news we just received 2 weeks ago. We are listed among 500 Southeast Asia company. It is really amazing. Thank you. And I earned executive MBA 20 years ago. And I have hold honor award 10 years ago. And today, 2025, I go with agriculture 30 years. And today, I'm here with you all. It's a really big milestone in my life. Yeah, so I really hope that we can share. 1 minute video is not enough. So I really to have more chance to share and to learn more about our company and learn from you all. Thank you.
Absolutely. And your favorite sport?
Sorry? My sport? This is a very good question. I have kickboxing. It's my favorite. When I taking care of my mom, she has cancer, and I have time to take care of him and to take care of her, and I start kickboxing, and already 10 years with that. Oh. And next is Pilates and yoga and walking every day 30 minutes. So I am the disciplined people, and I spend 1 hour at least for sport.
All right, thank you. And next, I'd like to bring to the stage Miriam Wolforth. She is founder and CEO of Banksware.
Wir lösen das Problem, das kleine Unternehmen haben, dass sie eben sehr schwierig und langsam an Kapital bekommen. Die meisten kleinen Unternehmen sterben, weil sie eben das Management ihrer Liquidität nicht hinbekommen. Gar nicht, weil das Produkt schlecht ist oder ansonsten die Dinge nicht passen. Eine Kapitalbeschaffung über eine Bank dauert in der Regel zwischen 3 und 6 Wochen. Bei uns ist der Prozess so, dass es komplett digital ist. Digital heißt auch nicht ein PDF hochzuladen, sondern es ist eine digitale Antragsstrecke. Es dauert im Regelfall etwa 15 Minuten. Nach dieser Zeit können wir nicht Realtime, aber Neartime eine Kreditentscheidung treffen und können dann eben auch sofort ausbezahlen. Das heißt, das Unternehmen hat in einem extrem schnellen Tempo Zugang zu Kapital und kann damit eben auch kurzfristigen Liquiditätsbedarf einfach decken.
So Miriam, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little about yourself and tell us about where you grew up and your journey.
Thanks a lot for having me here. I first have to excuse myself a bit for the video that is not so nice as the other ones are, and it's in German. That's not so polite. We just had subtitles. It was a bit of a hassle because we did not have an image video yet, and so we had to take something that was in German and put some subtitles on it, so I'm sorry about this. So I try to tell you a bit about me, about my company, and I'm Miriam. I live here in Berlin. I was born in Trier, which is the oldest city of Germany. Lived also abroad a little bit, and started actually in the financial technology industry 25 years ago. So it's a long time already, where I started working with a startup that was the first one doing internet payments in Europe. It was called at that time Bibit Global Payment Services, so nobody knows it anymore. And this company became quite big. It was sold to Royal Bank of Scotland, so I became a banker at some time in 2004. And I worked together with these startup founders and learned a lot. I had some role models from really, really good founders. And I decided to build my own company, the first own company in 2009, which was today you call it Buy Now, Pay Later company here in Germany. That has become quite successful, actually. So 2009 it was founded. We had a full license here, financial institution license in Germany. We also went to other countries in Austria, Switzerland. We became profitable business in 2016. We sold it to private equity in 2017. I stayed there for another 3 years, and then I founded another company together with my co-founder, who is a lawyer, a guy, because I really said I will never do a fintech again without a lawyer because it's super difficult. So that company is called Banksware. That's the movie. So what we do is we do loans for small businesses. At the moment, we are only in Germany, but we will start in other countries soon. So why do we do loans for small businesses? So every bank can do it, but it is like this, that normally when, especially here in Europe or in Germany, when you apply for a loan, it takes a long time. It is usually a non-digital process still. And it's also often that small businesses that are young they're not eligible for a loan. So for example, in Germany, you need to have 2 years of history, company history, that you can say that you are in business and that somebody gives you a loan. So there is a huge, let's say, gap in the market of those small businesses that cannot be funded. And we wanted to change that with, let's say, the means of technology. We built a solution that is completely digital, based on data that we access, modern data that are available through platforms, and also bank account data that are also available since a couple of years here through open banking in Germany. Yeah, we do that successful. It was really difficult the last years also. So we started in the hype of fintech in 2020 when there was also lots of, let's say, VC funding in the market. It dropped down dramatically. So we had the war in Ukraine, we had the energy crisis in Germany. We had really tough times, but so we got out of it, and we managed to close a Series A with a big Italian bank, with UniCredit Bank. And since that time, so we are really, I would say we are now in a really, really good position. We are the leading provider for this in Germany. We are 55 people now, so we had been more, but we had to also let people go in the course of the year. And I think now it's really the time that we are on, let's say, it's finally, it's a good time now to really start again and to become more international. And we have a really great business now that is almost, let's say, to 97% automated, which is really cool. We use a lot of AI tools that make us better every day. And thanks a lot for inviting me here.
All right, thank you so much. So as we get started, I'd like to just do a quick speed round with each of you, providing us with one word that you would use to describe yourself.
Oh, God. One word. Funny.
Renaissance.
Probably compassion.
As I said, discipline.
I would also say passion.
All right. And mine is adaptable. Stay with one company for 40 years, you have to be adaptable. All right. Now, question, let's start with you, Narissa. When your company was just beginning to get traction, what did you face as the biggest challenge then to the business, and what is the biggest challenge now?
Okay. Because my business started from the research. So when we make it to practical, in practice, it's very difficult in fintech space. A lot of regulation, heavy regulated. So we passed through that, and we gained traction. Because, I couldn't do what I wanted at that time, to do like crypto wallet and fiat money, which is normal money. So it's very tough to get the license to do that. So in the beginning, we get the license to just fiat money. And we do fiat money, and when we gain traction, we in the space, there are a lot of competitors, people in the space like Wise, Revolut. The challenge at that time is how to get the customer, acquire the customer. That's very hard. Once we pass through that, now the challenges for me, we change from B2C to become to B2B, B2B2C. The challenge that I have from last year, that my experience is getting the right partner. I partner with someone with a male founder. I'm not saying that it's male or female, but it just happened that male founder, when we don't have the same mission and the direction of the business, not just the money. But my mission is doing business, not just the money, how to help people and the partner together. So the challenge is now to find the right partner to grow together. So I spend more time and when you have a new partner, like my AI company, so we have to do some research together first to get to know him. So why he want to do business. And now I have to make sure that I won't be in the same trouble that I had before. And also another challenge is in the fintech, not the AI, is for the regulations. Now it's tougher and tougher every year. So the two challenges, partner and also regulations that we have.
Same question.
Yes, well, it was tough, definitely. We talked about it at our lunch. Getting funding at first place, as being a woman, even in Germany, I would say it was really, really tough. We talked to so many investors, and I'm actually a single founder and managing director, so worst combination, because everyone is looking always for founding teams. And then we have a topic, healthcare, that's also not really natural to men, especially not men in their 30s and 40s that are super healthy, and that's why they have so many power and energy to work in investment. So getting the funding and really to convince especially men to have trust in our business model that's really regulated. We are in the pharmaceutical industry, healthcare, that was tough. And now, what is our challenge now is we are in a B2B sector, so we have a patient platform, but our customers are pharma companies. And being listed as a supplier is a super lengthy process. We have legal assessments, compliance assessment, IT assessment, security assessments, now AI assessments, pharmacovigilance, it's drug safety, drug-specific assessments, and we are still a startup, right? So we comply with processes that are so demanding and that take 5 to 6 months. In a startup VC world where you need to grow and scale super fast, and usually you don't have 5 to 6 months to get a customer on board. So we are building a legacy here, but the VC logic or institutional money logic is oftentimes different.
Thank you. Chami, would you like to answer that as well?
You see, when we start our company, so the financing from our own founders. But then when we want to expand our activities, of course, building a trust in order to get more fund from investors is very challenging for us. Agriculture, as you know, is a not very sexy business. It's called God business. It's unpredictable and it's very traditional. So how you convince investor to give you capital? This is very, very difficult and very hard for two powers like us. Because, agriculture, I think, is not only the business. It is something, a way to help people, help farmers to have better life as well. And we also think that it's very important because we can give our effort to help all the world for the food securities. So in order to get them to get the capital, so we try, convince, and finally, after that, we were very fortunate to get the fund from IFC. This is amazing. This is really, really touching, and we are really proud of that. And after that, more and more people, more and more management fund give us long-term fund for our activities, for our work. So it is the first challenge. The second challenge is when the company grow like now, so succession plan is very important because we are on the leading company 40, 50, even 60 years, very long company. And the people, the leader, some are women. She is 80, 85 years old. One is 70 years old, two leaders, very old. But how to get the young generation to have the same passionate, to have the same spirit in order to go even better than us. So we are also successful to take the very new, very young people and empower them, trust them, and give them the chance, and ask them, please, brave to change, lead the change. And this is, I think there are two most difficult for us.
Thank you. And Carol, we'll pass you the microphone. So to scale and grow, and you've heard that funding is a challenge for entrepreneurs, where did you get the initial support for your business, and how did you get additional funding for growth?
So I mentioned that I started another company called Craig Technologies, and I started that with like $150 out of my kitchen. I had gotten out of the Navy. I couldn't fly anymore. I was following my husband around, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? Got all these engineering degrees, and I can't find a job because I'm following him around. So that's when I started my company, $150. So I started with the traditional banks. I went to a bank and said, I'd like to get a traditional loan, and I was a consultant. So I was showing I could make money. It was hourly rate, whatever. They told me to go home and bring my husband back. Yeah, it didn't go over very well with me. And I'm the sole founder, just like you are. I was doing this. My husband was not a part of the business. So instead, I hired my mother, who was 70 at the time, and she and I worked to figure out ways to fund this company. I maxed out 7 or 8 credit cards. I looked at small business administration loans in the U.S. They have those programs, which are, they're good, except that you double mortgage your house. They want you to sign away your firstborn just in case, or all kinds of stuff. So I did that. I did everything I possibly could, and I grew that company through the traditional means and banks, and that's why it's wonderful, Miriam, what you are doing, because it's very much needed. But when I spun off my second company, that was a more capital intensive, obviously manufacturing. We're now building satellites, trying to grow satellites. So I moved into the kind of VC world and, looking to see if I could do that kind of funding. That didn't go well either. And a lot of it, I don't know if it's because we're women. I don't know. It seems like we're having to convince them 10 times harder that we can do this, even though we're smarter than them. We got more degrees than them. We can do all this. It's very frustrating. So finally, I had somebody come to me and say, hey, what do you think about going public? And that was when a lot of these other space companies, all run by men, went public. And they went public through the SPAC process, which is a special purpose acquisition company. And it's sort of the back door to go public. And I didn't want to do that, so I went public via an IPO. So it was a smaller raise, which is a lot more painful, because then you're constantly raising money as you want to grow and scale. And that's where the challenge comes in. Of course, I look back now and I see some of those SPAC companies, they're out of business. If you have a lot of money, you spend a lot of money. And then how do you bring that down to get to profitability, and you've lost that opportunity. So again, it really is having to continue to raise money, to scale, but the business itself has to be scalable. And that's kind of one of the challenges that I see in some of our business in space. It's really cool. It's sexy, right? It's cool. It's awesome. But there isn't always a clear business model. And I think that's what we looked at, and we stay lean so that we can afford to be able to scale when we need to. But again, it's money, money, money. It's the complete theme all the way across.
Thank you for that. Now, Miriam, every enterprise has a high point moment when the founder realizes that the company is poised for growth. Can you share that moment from your business?
Yeah.
Oh,
yesterday.
Tommy wants to answer too? Okay, we'll do both.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so for us, actually, in this case, it was, as a startup founder, you have an idea, and you start with your idea, and you think it's great, because in theory, it sounds very good. So in the first months, so we did a lot of mistakes, and it didn't work out. But then actually we shifted something, and we tried the first, approach where we started working with platforms that integrate us. And we started actually with a company called Lieferando. That's, everybody knows JustEat.com or Uber Eats. So in Germany, it's also a big brand called Lieferando. And they integrated us in their back end and offered it to their restaurants, a financing solution. So they did, let's say, one marketing action, and then did the first marketing action. They threw a newsletter at all the restaurants, and we got like more than 1,000 applications in the first day. And we were like, oh my God, we cannot even handle this. So, but I mean, it was not right because we could not handle 1,000 a day, and it was also a lot of these restaurants were not eligible for a loan, but still we realized that we hit something, that there is really a demand. And I think when you really realize you have a demand and you really feel, okay, now you start working on professionalizing this. So it's really this, I think this was a great moment, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, yesterday on the way from the hotel, from the airport to the hotel, I visited one shopping mall. I really shocked to see our product on the shelf. It's a rice and shrimp. I think it's a very proud moment. I look at this, I say, oh wow, it's our product, it's our dream become true. Because Vietnam is one of the leading exporters for shrimp, rice, and pepper. But only the quantity is not value. But we just export, but in bulk, big bulk, with no brand. So we have done successful to export to 40 countries. This is amazing to see our product in Germany, in EU. Really, it's a very proudest moment. And the second moment, I think is we all, our group proud is we provide the farming method solution to farmers. And because we all, our leading seed company, second is, protection for rice, and the second is the fertilizers. We provide the method, the solution for farmers, and after 1 year, the result is very amazing. The income of farmers increased 28%, and the carbon emission is reduced a lot. So in the meantime, with our method, with our seed, our fertilizers and crop protection products, the farmer already have the better life. And in Vietnam, agriculture is like I think is for farmer. Farming is not their job. Farming is it is the farmer's identity, the farmer life. And they are very poor. When they have 28% increase for the income, is amazing. And reduce a lot of carbon emission. We are successful in this. It's the second proud moment for us.
Congratulations. Now, Narissa, as we think about the growth of your company, what lessons have you learned, and what would you like to share with those who may be struggling to keep their foothold in this uncertain market?
From my experience, there's always challenges all the time. If you become an entrepreneur, because my background, become a lecturer is so easy, become an entrepreneur, it's quite difficult. The experience I learned, sometimes you have to see why we're doing this, why we're doing what we're doing. When we have challenges, we have to think, is it worth fighting for? There's something that I feel that there's something I want to, whoever I want to help along the way, there's something that's worth fighting for. So that's something that keep me moving and moving forward. Am I answering your question?
Yes, I love that. Thank you. Carol, any thoughts on that?
It's very similar. I mean, being an entrepreneur, it's hard. Sorry, but it doesn't get any easier. Or it changes. Certain things become a little bit easier, but then there's new challenges. Don't give up. That's the bottom line. You know, I've talked about before that I feel like I've nearly bankrupted my companies 3 or 4 times. You know, it's like coming in for that and just pulled out just in time. You know, there's scorch marks on the ground there. And I think everyone has that moment. But if you have the passion, you know it's a good model, you know it's a good product, you just cannot give up no matter what.
Thank you for that. Now, Frederica, studies show that companies which undertake markets across borders grow 6 times faster than those who focus solely on the domestic market. Do you agree? And if so, have you altered your business plans accordingly?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think we are just about to internationalize. So we are market leader in Germany, and we are expanding to other European countries. We have projects in African countries, also now in the United Arab Emirates, and maybe also in Asian countries. So it's really all over the world now. What I definitely can tell is internationalizing too early also brings complexity and financial strains, right? So you really need to be sure, do you have the financial means, and is it the right moment? Is your product ready for it? Is your platform ready for it? So oftentimes we in Europe complain that if you live in US or China or India, you have an unfair advantage because your domestic market is so big, so much bigger than, for example, in Germany. And what our investors definitely tell us, you cannot just stay in Germany. You need to globalize. You need to go to other European countries. But it's always like a fresh start, to be honest. You cannot just operate from Germany. You need to have representatives in those countries, speak the language. They are culturally also different. And it's okay. So it's always, again, a double effort. Growing big and becoming a big company, and that's the bet of our investors and us, I think it's absolutely necessary to globalize, but it's not done like that. It's really like founding almost a second company again. So I believe so, but it's a very hard push, and I see it. We really start from scratch with very low penetration pricing entry. So it's I'm going there. I talked to everyone again, building a network, and I said I cannot do it like 20 times more because then I will be dead. So I did all of this 5 years in Germany. You're a market leader, but we need to be very smart to do it much, much faster in all the other countries.
Thank you. Miriam, would you like to answer that question as well?
Yeah, maybe also if you look at, let's say, the startup scene here or in Europe, I think in the earlier days, maybe before 21 or so, I think it was really necessary to expand very fast, grow international very, very fast. Now I think also the VC, let's say the funding situation has changed a bit more in the market. I would say that investors now look more for sustainable growth. Yeah, it's not top-level growth anymore, it's more sustainable growth, which means I would say today we focused now the last 2 years really on building a product and product excellence, yeah, that we really have a great product that is now ready for other markets. If you would ask me, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, I would have said, yeah, go for it fast. But now I said, okay, do it rather a bit slowly, focus on the product. And now we have a very huge customer coming up that we go live with next month. And with this customer, it's the case now that is there where we can go international. And then I think also the valuations, yes, they go up as soon as you are international, but also we want to create a business that is still there in 10 years. So it's not something that we want to create a bubble, you know, just storytelling. So it should have sustainable revenues also.
Thank you. Now, Narissa, what is the next stage of development for your enterprise as we reset in this economy?
We're in the process of launching the blockchain wallet, Web3, so we can save the fiat money and crypto money and interchangeable. That's what I'm planning to. And also, we're looking forward for the next few years. We want to add AI. This is nothing new. We did the pilot test 5 years ago before COVID-19. We want to see one day for our wallet that I can say, I want to buy a birthday present for Ruth. So the system will know that Ruth lives in Atlanta and what you like. And then hopefully in the system we have the shops that link with us and also logistic. So I just say to my app, say, Ruth's birthday coming soon, and then in 2 days you get the present. That's what I want to see. Maybe not next year, but hopefully in the future that because I now have someone that expert in AI. So we start doing blockchain together. And now he's do more with the healthcare, medical healthcare. We can bring that one to be with the platform that we build as well. So hopefully in the future, Luz, even know your birthday, in a few days we get this present.
I'll report back on that. All right, Carol, would you like to answer this question as well, please?
So I'll answer it, but I'll sort of go back to the last question, and maybe that's kind of answering this question. But I wanted to talking about being global and expanding globally. One of the ways that we're doing that, and I am excited about the future and what we're going to be doing tied to it, is that we have a lot of partnerships. So as opposed to just going out there, and we are supporting, we're building satellite for the Netherlands. We are supporting directly some international agencies and partners. But to do a true partnership, like a joint venture, which is something that we're doing with multiple companies, is I think a really good way to slowly expand into the global markets. And so we've got those partnerships. We actually have one with a German aerospace company that's outstanding, and we're going to be looking at bringing that forward. Japan, we've got a number of others that are out there. So that's what I'm excited about, and especially with what again we talk about what's going on globally, and if you can show that partnerships and how we all work together, so that each company, each country succeeds. I think that's a lead by example that we can do.
Excellent. Let's pivot a bit, and I'll ask each of you this one question. At this point in your career, how do you define success?
Thank you. I give a really honest and boring answer. We have investors that define, institutional investors that define the success for us. So we definitely have milestones to be met, and that's the success or the success definition I'm using for the company. But what is also success for me is building a sustainable company. We want to grow steadily, but also in a very healthy way, and we want to build a company that also exists in 100 years, and not one that is there for the fast exit, but maybe a big global company that has a true impact.
So this is always a tough one for me, because people ask, and I've been doing this for I think my company's 26 years old, so I've got more runway behind me than in front of me, and it's hard for me to think about success because I haven't had any exits yet. I look at my bank account and I'm like, oh, this is a little depressing. But so what is that success? So I really do have to think, okay, what is it? I think part of it is tied to what we have done with our satellites. And it isn't just that we launched satellites. We said we were going to launch them. They worked the first time. They're 3D printed AI. That's all cool stuff. But what it is we actually decided to kind of put a theme around our satellites. And we are naming each satellite after what we call unsung sheroes, which is, I think, kind of cool. So it's not I'm not naming it after famous women who've done things. It's those that we don't know about and that people don't realize what they've done. And the very first one was named after my mother, who passed away a couple years ago unexpectedly. She was 92, but it was still unexpectedly because she was doing great. And my team said, we're going to name the satellite after your mom. And she got her master's degree when she was 92. So imagine, she was a trailblazer, had done all that. The second one was named after a young lady who also had passed away at the age of 21 unexpectedly because of undiagnosed heart issue. And so we're now supporting an organization that screens for cardiac challenges. And then the third one, I'm sorry to make this long, but the third one is named after a woman that I met in Ireland, Eileen, who told us her story, 77 years old, and she talked about everything she had gone through. And I was like, well, people don't realize the stories behind women and what they've done. And to this day, every day she gets up in the morning, she walks across the street to the pub, she cleans it, and then she has her pint of Guinness. And so she's persevering, and she continues to push through. And so that's when I think, okay, that's the definition of success. When we can say we've created legacies for others, and we're going to leave behind us when we go, that's success to me.
This is a simple question, but I found it hard to define the success. So I look back to 2 days ago. So I just looking into 10 years. So the first 10 years of my life, I think 0 to 10, the success for me at that time when I was little is to be number one in the class. Very funny. I have to be number one in the class. And I was, which is not good. I told my children to try your best, don't have to be the number one. But at that age, the first decade for me is to be number one in the class. Very funny. And the second decade, 10 to 20, I learned to love reading comic book. And I want to be cool, like play sport. I play basketball and do well in the class. So my success during that time, success in life aligned between the study and also the sport. That's, I think, success for me at that age. So the third decade, 20 to 30 years old, I joined the Cooper's Library and a career. And I did very well. I went to US to study and came back to lecturing. And at that time, my success, I think of my career, how to do more than for myself. I want to be a lecturer because I want to teach the young generation to think beyond themselves. So when I think back, that third decade is my success is to do something for other people. And I finished my PhD. I think it's very hard how to get a PhD. That's another success for me, and make my mom and my dad proud. So for my mom and my dad, for myself, the first and second decade, and to mom and dad, and also my students. So the fourth decade is when I have 2 children, and I'm proud to be a full-time mother. And I think I did them very well. I took them to orphanage homes since they were little, for now more than 10 years. And I see them grown up to be not just for themselves. They think of other people. It is from other people telling me about, the humility that they have. So I think this is a success. I believe that that's the definition of my success. Now I'm the 5th decade, right? Oh, getting too old. I have the 12-year plans for myself. I said it. I'm not there yet. 7 years, so I have a few more years. I said before, I want to help the homeless and orphanage children. That's something really in my heart. So I believe that in this 5th decade, if I can do that, this is my success.
For me, success is I can do something last. Success means I can inspire many people, and I can build our team, young team, and let them believe and blooming. Success for me is when I'm healthy. I have 1 child, but I have 50 orphans. They are all girls, no children. So my success now is no more number. The profit I earn is I do something last, inspiring, especially all the girls, all the orphans I have. They are living in the mountain. They are very poor, no children, and I want to be healthy in order to help them to go to school and to inspire them to become good people.
That's a big question. So the first answer would be, I'm so proud that I have a 21-year-old daughter and I have a great relationship with her. So I love this. This is the one thing. The other thing is, I think sometimes I have such a privilege to have a job that I love. So I never think on Sundays, oh God, tomorrow it's Monday, I have to work. So I love my job. I'm always a little bit on. And this is something, I think it's a huge privilege to have this. So I always say to young people, consider to be an entrepreneur and do the things you love. That is the biggest gift you can have in your life. And then on a journey, becoming, in the last 25 years, I think there are a few events. There's also some events where you felt, oh, this is success now. This feels like success. It was probably in the first step with FreightPay, 2009, there was not really a VC market, and it was really difficult to receive a funding. Then getting a funding done, that was just great. It felt really great. The next step, getting a BaFin, that's a license from the German regulatory thing here. That's a BaFin license to becoming a financial institution in Germany. That was a huge success because it's really difficult to obtain the license. Then we also, in the last startup of RatePay, becoming profitable. So we did a party in a big club here in Berlin. We rented a club. It's on the roof terrace. We had 2 great DJs there, really well-known DJs. And we had our logo in the, let's say, in the sky of Berlin. And it was like a night in the summer, and I never forget that. And just felt like success. And the next one was also, let's say, the idea then saying, okay, we do a new startup. And also the funding there, that you finally get it. And also, I think it was a big success to survive this really, really 2 tough years between 22 and 23. That felt also really good when we finally had the funding. I really had to cry. And yeah, and now the success is like to start again, with a company that is robust now, that feels really, really good. And I'm really happy that I can say that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.